Hi everybody, it's Chartsky. Happy holidays to you and your family if you're lucky enough to have one, and if not, happy holidays to you. Here's the video from December 4th, 2017, which is a little bit longer, but I won't spoil the reason why it's a little bit longer. Before we get to that, we always start every session with either a top-down analysis in the mornings or a review of where we are and where we stand in the afternoon. So with that said, here's a short 20-30 second or so review of what we did right before the afternoon session on December the 4th. Okay, welcome back. We've got a little bit of a hole from this morning. I had a great entry here in the NASDAQ, had it nailed, but price would only whip, and so we had to get out. There was over 100 point drop in the NASDAQ this morning, and it's been drifting up a little bit. We should see some movement here pretty soon. So let's see what we can catch. Okay, I was getting ready to say I'm about to sell the NASDAQ and the S&P, talk a little bit about market structure, show you where and why, but let's just get right into it. That's a little taste, just by the way, of the either top-down analysis we do before the morning session or the review we do before the rare afternoon sessions. And here are the heart and soul of the trades that we took in the afternoon session. All right, now finally in on both of them. We almost got away from us there. Two points in the S&P, 30 ticks in the NASDAQ. May get more than 2 points out of this S&P, but we need to erase the deficit from the morning first. Looking for the NASDAQ to work its way down. S&P's moving okay. Afternoon session, remember, it moves differently, it acts differently. It's a whole new beast. All right, here comes +1. Sorry, we got the S&P. Had a split dome up there. Getting ready to go to break even in the NASDAQ. Come on, turn down here. 30 ticks all out. May just go to straight +1 in the NASDAQ on the next push. We've got the morning hole erased already. This will be great right here if the NASDAQ will just push down. We can be done fast this afternoon. Could come all the way back. One more time, and that's what we got to watch for. It's just kind of holding on. Let's see, I can mark up this guy. Watching the dome over there in the NASDAQ. Going straight to +1 in the NASDAQ if it'll just push down another time. Gave a good push and it's kind of hanging. could whip all the way back once. Got a double position on, which by rule we can do here in the NASDAQ, but we've got to be really careful with it. Again, remember, the afternoon's a completely different animal. Price moves and acts differently than it does in the morning. All right, here's coming back one more time like we thought it might in the NASDAQ. Could even take a few ticks of heat, but looking for it to push down now. If it doesn't, we're going to have to think about scratching. Come on, that's a dink. That doesn't count. That's not a push. Knowing your market structure, price action, and the order flow can keep you in one like this in the afternoon. Now in the morning we would have most likely had to scratch this trade because of the violently hysterical whip. And this trade in the NASDAQ could be worth more than 30 ticks, but again, we got a double position on 30 ticks will be plenty. Wind up from being in the hole in the morning to daily profit target plus or an add-on day. But we still need to push. Yes, another little dink. It's got such a huge range that this NASDAQ's moving, but it doesn't look like it's moving. All right, here we go. Let's see if it'll come on down here. You can see the little lows there. See the little support is putting in on these lows here. We need that to break. They keep whipping it right back to the intermediate SR level there, 63.25, the bottom of the stealth zone, which they penetrated, but it's still holding. Remember, afternoon trades sometimes take longer, but the moves are usually smoother when they happen. May not quite be ready. Pretty good rejection pattern in there with price. So I don't know what's holding the NASDAQ up. Other than it just may be floating back a little bit. We've watched these stock indexes levitate on no volume for weeks and weeks and months. We got to keep that in mind. Hit it again, sliced through a little bit, came right back down. All right, we got to be careful now. There's a little bit of a sell. It's a dink, but that's in the right direction. See if they'll get on board and push. Well, they're trying. I don't know what's holding it up. Already erased the deficit from the morning. We've already climbed out of the hole in one single good trade in the S&P. That's why we try and keep the losers small, so that one single trade can erase an entire challenging session. If we can just get the NASDAQ to push, this will go from being in the hole to a daily profit target plus or an add-on day. That's trying. Then we're going to go straight to +1 on this if we can just get it to turn down a little bit. And once again, you see it coming right along those lows and finding support. Just be patient. I mean, it's been on our side of the trade almost the entire time. It's hard for me to believe it's taken almost 10 minutes and it won't even go 30 ticks with the range we've got today, but that happens sometimes. It kind of has to catch its breath after this morning. I'll be more than happy to take this one into the barn with the daily profit target plus or an add-on day. Come on down just a little bit more. Remember, we're going to go straight to +1 here. Is that just running the stops under the lows? Let's go to +1. Could be running the stop. Should be coming down. But you got all those lows there. There we go. That shouldn't be a problem now to get to the target. Just have to wait on it. All right, 63.20 will be the sell in the NASDAQ. 63.20 in the NASDAQ. 54.5 sell in the S&P. We got to be careful this NASDAQ doesn't get away from us. Drop it down to 63.19 in the NASDAQ. All right, we're in. That was a whip back, but we're in. We're in the S&P. Let's mark them up. 2 points in the S&P, 30 ticks in the NASDAQ. This is what we've been waiting on. Price to tip its hand. 3 points in the S&P. 3 points in the S&P. 30 ticks in the NASDAQ. Still on a double, but this will turn out to be a nice add-on day. If we can get both of these, it'll push down. Whoops. Mark this guy up. Well, it looked like it was ready for the bottom to fall out. Could happen at any time. Or could just be stop running to the downside, although the S&P turned down pretty good, so I don't think so in the S&P. I mean the NASDAQ, I'm sorry. Again, different from the morning to the afternoon session. If it was the morning session, we'd have had to scratch the NASDAQ right there. Afternoon sessions moves are better. Market structure's more reliable, usually, knock on wood. Although I don't much care for it coming back and forth like this. The S&P's trying to turn down. 30 ticks in the NASDAQ on the double. 3 points in the S&P. That's a decent little sell in the NASDAQ. At least it's going the right direction. Come on, you guys can do it. Step one was we erased the hole from the morning with a decent trade here in the S&P. Step two is let's see what we can add to that. We let market structure tell us and price tip its hand, and now we just got to let them simmer and work. We're getting gaps to the downside in the NASDAQ. Come on. We got a split dome over here in the S&P. Don't let it throw you. We're not going yet. You still can come back. Another tick or so, we'll go to +1 in the S&P. Well, we'll go to break even in the S&P. We'll go straight to +1 right now in the NASDAQ. Break even in the S&P. They should be coming on down here. This is the afternoon session, remember. Nice double position in the NASDAQ. And we got it. Come on, S&P. Give us our 3 points and an add-on day. +1 in the S&P. Whoops. See if the S&P can test these lows and add on even more. If it can, I'm just going to take 2 points off of it. It's sitting at 2 points now. Let's do that. 2 points in the S&P instead of 3. 2 points is pretty much guaranteed. This is all icing on the cake. Could take out those lows and give you a lot more than that, but again, icing on the cake, so let's just take 2 points off in the S&P. All right, there we go. And we go from a hole in the morning to an add-on day, just like that. So we'll see if there's any questions. If there are, we'll deal with them, and otherwise, we're done. Okay, there you have it. An add-on day on December the 4th. So what's important? Why did I upload this video? Well, contrary to what Michael, the world's worst trader, who was a member of our live trading room for an entire day and a half during the summer, thinks, and by the way, he's got his money back, and I'm more than glad to give it because we need him and his kind on the other side of our trades. But contrary to what they think, you cannot just sit down at any time, day or night, and have money pour out of your computer into your lap. Trading takes patience and discipline. Sometimes trades work quickly, and sometimes you have to work the trades. Take a look at today. We had a really tough morning. 2 losing trades in the NASDAQ, and one that trailed and knocked us out, and one that we got front run in the E-Mini S&P. So what did we do? We didn't give up. We traded according to our rules. We came back in the afternoon for an afternoon session. Again, trading by our rules. Look at the NASDAQ. We used patience and discipline. Basically, we had to take the same trade twice in a row before it worked. The first time I indicated throughout the video all the reasons why I was getting more and more nervous, all the reasons why that market could have gone higher before it came lower. But anyway, we took the same trade through patience and discipline, and it paid off in the NASDAQ, and we got 2 pretty good little S&P trades there along the way. So we go from a losing morning to an add-on day in the afternoon, following our trading plan, following our rules, and through patience and discipline, and that's what I think is important, and that's what I want you to get out of this video. Here's the CFTC disclaimer. It's very important. I urge you to read it, and if you want more information or you're ready to join us, please visit my blog at www.chartsky.com or send me an email to chartskytrades@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.